Hey there, welcome in, my name's Josh, this is Riot, and this is what I learned this week. So I spent most of my time on drills. I'm not really the best at eyes, so I spent most of the week just practicing them. So the first thing I learned is that this bit here at the end of the eye, it's often up to stylistic expression. Some artists have a little bit, some have none at all, some have it coming down a lot, but typically as a rule, the more you have it, the more realistic your eye tends to be. Second thing is that the angle of the eye itself shows expression. It's not just the eyebrow. It helped to often think of them kind of like diamonds. Last week I realized that the top of your first circle tends to be around the bang line on most anime girls. And this is still true, but I realized that the bang line can quickly turn into the actual top of the head depending on perspective. Basically, I learned that size and proportion are always changing due to perspective, and there's no cookie cutter easy rules, which is a bit of a bummer because it would have made studying a lot easier. I also learned that I really struggle with foreshortening and perspective of the face, like especially when one eye is closer to the camera than the other, like in the classic 3/4 view shown here. It's angles like this that really highlight all the subtle changes in perspective and anatomy and proportion that either make or break your face and the expressions that you're trying to make. Like notice here, the reason it looks a little bit weird is that I don't have the eyes on the same perspective line. Like notice how my eyes peel out from the center, but that the reference, they're on that same line. Like I didn't have that subtle nuance, and because I didn't have it, they look a little weird. This one showed me line weight and line quality really enhance your piece, and it also showed consequently that it's something I like super suck at. So the last lesson from drills that surprised me was that I found it useful to kind of draw with my peripheral vision. What I mean by that is like instead of focusing on like your brush, like the edge of your pen, if you just kind of let your eyes like glaze over and zone out a bit and just kind of take it all in at once, like you're just kind of daydreaming, I realized that by drawing in my peripheral vision this way, that it kind of helped me visualize everything better with proportions, as I just kind of used my imagination to like try to create the face that I was visualizing and daydreaming about. So after I finished the drills, I decided to push myself and actually try to draw something that was actually kind of original. So instead of just copying from one reference, I copied from 3, and I tried to take one aspect from each of the different pictures and then blend them into one. So then this is the result, and then these are the images that I used to make it. I used this one for the hair, this one for the pose, this one for the glasses, and then also a little bit of the pose, and then the eyes really just came about from all of the drills I did earlier. This super like niche anime style of hair was the most challenging because it's like defies physics basically, and I had to look up a whole bunch of more references to make it look right. And in the end, she kind of turned out like a mix between Aerith and then like your stereotypical glasses senpai cute girl. And then for polish, since I don't really know how to render and my line quality is trash, I kind of just settled for outlining the contour with a thicker brush size, but I was pretty much winging it because rendering is something I don't really know how to do. So all things considered, I'm pretty proud that I was able to make this and that this doesn't exist anywhere else on the internet. But with that being said, it was still kind of frustrating to be super dependent on references. Like this pose, for example, this pose is almost entirely based off of this one Ladowska sketch, and if I wanted to try to get more creative or make this pose be any different, I would have to go find another reference because drawing from imagination right now is like even worse than this and just absolute garbage. So a little frustrating there, but I do think that's just part of the name of the game, and that eventually as you draw more, your library will continue to increase and you won't have to use references as much. But for the time being, it is a little frustrating and it feels pretty limiting. That's it for this Road to Riot. Thanks for watching. If you want to hang out with me while I practice and do these lives, you can find me over on Twitch. And if not, don't worry about it. I'll keep making these review videos for you here on YouTube. See you next time.